Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive? This one's going to be interesting. We're cracking open the Golden Book of Wisdom. At least that's what it's called.
Yeah, bit of a mystery surrounding this text.
Yeah.
Purportedly recovered, delves into Hermetic philosophy, the whole 9 yards.
Right. Like, where did this thing come from? But hey, that just adds to the intrigue, right? And before we get too deep, gotta clarify, we're not claiming this book holds all the answers, right?
Not at all. More like a lens. Offers a unique perspective on some pretty familiar concepts, even touches on religion, which I found fascinating.
Religion, oh yeah, it talks about relative and absolute religion. That caught my eye too.
Exactly. So relative religions, according to the Golden Book anyway, are those tied to specific traditions, dogmas, rituals, that kind of thing. Think organized faiths.
Makes sense. Each with its own set of beliefs, practices. So absolute religion would be like the common ground, the underlying truth.
Bingo. The text suggests that a true Hermetic individual, someone who's really walked down this path, might outwardly follow a specific religion, but inwardly.
Inwardly, they're vibing with something more universal. The universal laws, the harmony behind everything.
You got it. Recognizing those common threads, those universal truths beneath the surface differences.
I can get behind that. Many paths, same mountaintop, right? But okay, enough about religion. This text goes beyond that, right? Magic, mysticism, things start to get really interesting.
Oh, absolutely. And right off the bat, it makes a bold claim. Magic and mysticism, two sides of the same coin, inseparable.
Hold on, gotta stop you right there. When they say magic, we're not talking about pulling rabbits out of hats, right?
Definitely not. This is a different kind of magic.
Yep.
We're talking about tapping into subtle forces, understanding the hidden mechanics of the universe.
Okay, now we're talking. But how does mysticism fit into all of this? If magic is like the raw power, is mysticism the control panel?
Love that analogy.
Yeah,
Spot on.
yeah.
The Golden Book describes magic as quantity, raw power, force. Mysticism, on the other hand, is all about quality.
The quality of that power, how it's directed, what it's used for.
Mhm. Exactly. It's about the attributes, the effects, the specific ways that power manifests. Think of it like,
Like magic is the electricity, and mysticism is knowing how to wire it to light up a city, instead of, getting zapped.
now you're getting it. And the Golden Book suggests that grasping this connection, understanding how magic and mysticism intertwines, well, that's where things get really interesting. Unlocking our potential, tapping into a deeper level of ourselves.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Unlocking our potential, you say. That leads perfectly into the next big concept from the Golden Book, the mental body.
Ah, yes, the mental body. Not as esoteric as it sounds.
Yeah.
Think of it as a subtler aspect of yourself, beyond the physical, composed of what the text calls mental matter.
Mental matter sounds pretty out there. What exactly is that?
Imagine, if you will, the very fabric of your thoughts, emotions, your will. That's mental matter. It's not bound by the same laws as our physical bodies.
So it's not like our physical bodies, which are, well, physical.
Exactly. Operates on a different frequency, so to speak. And according to the Golden Book, this mental body, this mental matter, is the seat of our consciousness, our sense of I.
Whoa. So our thoughts, our feelings, our sense of self, it all stems from this mental body. Not just fleeting things, but part of something deeper.
That's the idea the text puts forward. And it doesn't stop there. It goes on to describe how this I consciousness arises from the interplay of three principles:
3 principles. Lay it on me.
willpower, intellect, and feeling. According to the Golden Book, you need all three for consciousness to function.
Interesting. Those elements pop up across various spiritual traditions, but how does this text interpret them?
It emphasizes both their quantitative and qualitative aspects, just like with magic and mysticism. Each principle has its own kind of power rating, but also a specific quality, a way it expresses itself.
Okay, I'm going to need an example here. How do you measure the quantity and quality of, let's say, willpower?
Well, the quantity of your willpower is its raw force, how much drive you have. But the quality is determined by its content. What are you focusing that drive on?
So someone could have an iron will, but direct it towards, say, climbing the corporate ladder, while someone else might have that same level of willpower, but use it for a life of service.
Precisely. Same power, different quality, different expressions. And this applies to intellect and feeling as well. A sharp mind is great, but are those thoughts clear, focused? Are they beneficial to the self and others?
It's like you can have a Ferrari engine, but if the steering wheel is disconnected, you're not going anywhere good.
Exactly. And feeling is no different. The depth of your emotions matters, but so does the content of those emotions. Love, compassion, joy. those are going to shape your mental body differently than, say, anger and resentment.
So we've got this mental body shaped by our experiences, fueled by the quality of our thoughts, emotions, and actions. But if it's always on, always active, does it ever get tired? Need a recharge?
That is a fantastic question. And the Golden Book provides a rather intriguing answer. The mental body is nourished by the impressions we receive through our five senses.
Hold on, you're saying that everything we see, hear, taste, touch, smell, that's food for the mental body.
That's what the text suggests. Our senses are constantly feeding information to the mental body, and those impressions, they act as fuel.
So it's like the mental body is always hungry, always taking in information, and what we feed it shapes how it functions.
You could say that. But just like with food, it's not just about the quantity of impressions, but the quality.
Right, because a diet of junk food might keep you alive, but...
But it's not going to lead to optimal health. Same goes for the mental body. A constant stream of negative or low-quality impressions.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say it won't lead to a very harmonious internal state.
So basically our minds are like gourmet restaurants. Only serve the good stuff, or the head chef walks out.
Well, maybe not that dramatic, but you get the idea. The text stresses we need to be mindful of what we're feeding our mental bodies, just like we pay attention to our physical diet.
Makes sense. But gotta be honest, sometimes life throws a lot of junk food our way, you know? Stressful job, difficult relationships. Can't exactly meditate our way out of everything, can we?
You're right, it's not always easy, and the Golden Book recognizes that. It doesn't pretend there's some magical solution to block out all negativity.
So what does it recommend? How do we manage those inputs, even when life gets messy?
It starts with conscious choice, where we can. Certain people, places, activities, if they consistently drain us, trigger negativity, maybe we limit our exposure.
Create some healthy boundaries, like if doom scrolling leaves me feeling anxious, maybe I put down the phone, go for a walk instead.
Exactly. It's about designing an environment that supports our well-being, both internally and externally. Just like choosing nutritious foods and exercise benefits our physical health, choosing uplifting experiences and thoughts nourishes our mental health.
Makes sense. Create a sanctuary for the mind, just like we try to create a comfortable home for our physical bodies. But the Golden Book doesn't stop at just curating our environment, right?
You're picking up on it. It also emphasizes developing inner tools, practices that help us manage those unavoidable negative impressions, strengthen our mental immune system, so to speak.
Okay, I'm all in on stronger mental immunity. What kind of practices are we talking about?
The text places a lot of emphasis on concentration and meditation.
Classics for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Everyone from monks to Silicon Valley CEOs seems to be touting the benefits these days. But how does the Golden Book approach them? Anything unique?
Well, they describe concentration as focusing the mind on a single point, really honing that mental laser beam. It's about training the mind to resist distractions, to become still, unwavering. Like imagine a candle flame.
In a windless room, totally still, not even flickering.
Exactly. Now, meditation, as described in the Golden Book, that's more about withdrawing the senses from the outer world, turning inward.
So concentration is outward focus, meditation is inward focus.
You got it. Meditation, they say, is about observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, like watching clouds drift by.
Makes sense. Both practices help us manage that constant stream of sensory input, right? By quieting the mind, we're less likely to get swept away by every thought, every emotion.
Precisely. Cultivating that inner peace, that sense of stability amidst chaos. And the Golden Book suggests that from this place of stillness, we can start to work with those electromagnetic energies within us.
Whoa, now we're getting to the good stuff, those constructive and destructive forces we talked about earlier. But before we dive into that, I have to ask. The text mentions developing these abilities, these magical and mystical faculties. Meditation, concentration, that's great. But it's not exactly a weekend workshop, right?
You're right. The Golden Book is very clear. This stuff takes time, dedication. It acknowledges that. But it also stresses that these faculties are latent within all of us, waiting to be awakened.
So we're all like dormant wizards, just waiting for the right training to unlock our magical potential.
Something like that. And while it doesn't offer a step-by-step guidebook, the Golden Book does hint at how we might begin to awaken these faculties.
Okay, you can't drop a hint like that and not elaborate. What are we talking about here?
It emphasizes understanding and working with what it calls universal laws.
Universal laws. Now we're going full on Matrix here.
Think of them as the fundamental principles governing all of creation, the seen and the unseen. The Golden Book suggests that the deeper our understanding of these laws, the more effortlessly these magical, mystical faculties will start to unfold.
It's like by understanding the rules of the game, we become better players.
Exactly. But the text is careful to include a cautionary note here. It even dedicates a whole section to the dangers of unbalanced development.
Dangers. Unbalanced development. Now that sounds like we're getting into some dark arts territory. What's the warning?
The Golden Book cautions against developing certain faculties, certain powers, without a solid foundation of morality, I guess you could say, without wisdom.
Because power without wisdom is a recipe for disaster. Kind of like Spider-Man's Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. It's about balance. Always coming back to balance. Balance between our physical, mental, and spiritual aspects. Balance between the magical and mystical. Balance between our own desires and the needs of the whole.
So it's not about becoming some kind of superhuman with superpowers, but about cultivating wisdom and balance in all areas of life.
That's the message the Golden Book seems to convey. The true Hermetic path isn't about achieving some superhuman status. It's about achieving profound harmony, alignment with those universal laws that govern all existence.
It sounds like a lifelong journey, not a destination. And probably a challenging one, too.
The text doesn't shy away from that, but it also suggests that the rewards for those who stay the course are more than worth the effort.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. Mental bodies, magic, mysticism, the importance of balance. Is there like a final takeaway from the Golden Book, a big aha moment it leaves us with?
You could say that. The text points to this idea of finding the key to the highest wisdom. Sounds pretty grand, right?
Keys! Wisdom, hidden knowledge. You know I'm all about that. But what's this key all about? What's the big reveal?
Well, it's not a literal key, of course. More like a guiding principle. The Golden Book suggests that the path to unlocking this highest wisdom, it hinges on understanding and embodying harmony.
Harmony. Okay, I like the sound of that. But what does that even mean in this context? Harmony with ourselves. Harmony with the universe. How do we actually make that happen?
Remember all that talk about balance. Balance between our physical, mental, and spiritual sides. Balance between the magical and mystical. Balance between our own desires and the needs of, well, everything else. The Golden Book seems to say that true harmony comes from aligning all of those aspects within ourselves and in our relationship with, well, the universe.
So it's not just inner peace we're after. It's like cosmic alignment.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're not just isolated beings, but threads in this massive interconnected web. The Golden Book suggests that true wisdom lies in understanding and living in accordance with that interconnectedness.
It's like, you know those moments when you feel totally in sync? Not just with yourself, but with everything around you. Like everything just clicks.
Those moments, the text argues, those aren't just happy accidents. They happen when we align with these universal principles, when we tap into that underlying harmony.
So if we can learn to cultivate that alignment, those moments become less about chance and more about choice.
Exactly. But the Golden Book is careful not to present this as some kind of final destination. It's not about reaching a state of perfect static harmony and then that's it, you're done.
More like it's an ongoing process.
Right. It's about learning to dance with those different forces within us and around us, constantly striving for greater harmony, knowing that the journey itself is part of the wisdom.
It's like we're always fine-tuning the instrument, trying to hit that perfect note.
A perfect analogy. Because when all those different parts of ourselves are in tune, when they're playing together in harmony, that's when the real magic happens.
And that's what this Golden Book of Wisdom is pointing us toward. Not just understanding these concepts, but embodying them, living them.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that true wisdom, true power, true happiness, it all stems from that place of harmony. Harmony with ourselves, with each other, with the universe itself.
Wow. Quite a journey we've taken with this Golden Book of Wisdom. Explored the nature of religion, the secrets of the mental body, the interplay of magic and mysticism, those universal laws, and it all comes down to harmony.
It really makes you appreciate the wisdom contained in these ancient texts, even if they're shrouded in a bit of mystery.
Absolutely. This deep dive has given us plenty to think about, that's for sure. But as always, we encourage you to seek out the source material, dive into the Golden Book of Wisdom yourself, see what resonates.
And while you're exploring, here's something to ponder, a question inspired by the text. If our senses really are the way we nourish our mental and spiritual bodies, what choices can we make today to cultivate a more harmonious inner world?
That's a question worth sitting with for a while. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep seeking those nuggets of wisdom. They're out there, just waiting to be discovered. And who knows, maybe we'll stumble upon another golden book to guide us along the way. Thanks for joining us, everyone.